Let's be totally and brutally honest here. Sean Corbyn makes Valerie Brudov look like Ivan Drago. It's as simple as that. He's beat what's in front of him tonight. He faces me. He's going to visit mental demons again. And let's get something straight. Come to me, mate. You come to me. Next time, ain't no judge is going to be needed. I'm going to do worse than Kovalev. I am going to do worse than Kovalev.
On Saturday night, mate, you better hold it together. I'm going to smash it near you to pieces, mate. I'm going to hit him. When he gets in the ring and we get 10-ounce gloves on, I'm going to smash his head to bits. I'm going to do it November the 30th against all odds. No matter what people say, the journalists write what you want. All as I'll say is tune back in and then look at me on December the 1st when I am world champion. It's as simple as that. I'm willing to die in that ring. It's as simple as that. I am willing to die. I'm willing to die, Zaddy. Is he?
You're fucking right. You are listening to episode 495 of the Boxing Asylum Nutters podcast. Andy's here. Matty is with us, wrapping up Kelly. Ozzy calling in from Greece and Ben calling in from the streets. We will discuss the action from the weekend very shortly. I don't know if anyone saw Sam Eggington. We'll go on to Fundora as well. Next weekend, they're giving us a heavy one. We've got the Quote. We've got Wilder versus Helenius. And we've got the rematch that everybody's looking forward to. Haney versus Kambosos 2. Repeat or revenge. But before we do that, like I said, a bit of an unprecedented one tonight. But we're going to move on to the Bellew of the week, keeping on with our Conor Benn theme. I'm not saying Conor or Eddie or anybody's going to feature in this. Don't take my word for it, but we'll have a look. First of all, let's listen to the bomber himself to lead us in. We've got quite a few video clips, but this is an old one and a good one.
You and this boxing asylum, whatever you're called, right? You see, you must be the most bored man on planet Earth, because what you do is you sit and talk about what the fuck I do. Remember this, right? What you talk about, I do. I do it. You talk about it, I do it. So that gives me the right to say whatever I want about what I do. It doesn't give you the right because you don't do it. Now, if you show me a video of you doing it and doing it at the level I do it at, then maybe you can have a say. But remember this, I fight, you watch. It's that simple. That's all it's about. I fight, you watch. No one gives a shit about what you say or what you do, but they give a shit about me because I fight. I don't watch. Simple as that. Your podcast isn't worth a carrot. I don't give a shit what you say, what you do. If you've got something to say to me, I'm not hard to find. I'm usually on the front row of boxing events. Come and say hello, or come and say to me what you'd say to me on your daft podcast. But remember this, I get more views with a fart than what you get with a 2-hour podcast. On that note,
2-hour podcast, get with the times, Tony.
Let's go that bullshit.
Oh dear. Right, so we shall move on. You know what, Andy? Poor Conor Benn, he's been getting a rough time, I think, of it this weekend. Has nobody thought of the chance that poor Conor could be innocent and all these haters, all these bitter bastards are going in on him, saying that he should be banned for life? But like this guy, for example.
Worse than a cheat in sport. You cheated, and there's nothing worse than a cheat in sport. You cheated, and there's nothing worse than a cheat in sport. You cheated, and...
All right, leave him alone. For fuck's sake, Andy. I think it's rough myself now.
Has he been hard done by? No, absolutely not. Mate, that B sample should have been tested weeks ago. Then we'd have an answer here. That hair needs to be tested as well, as if he can grow it back in, that is. If he's got the testosterone levels.
That head, the Buzz Lightyear sample.
That head is massive, mate.
That picture, is that doctored, that, or is that actually him?
That's actually him, mate.
Fucking hell. Look at the size of his neck. Fuck me. I'm sorry. That has to have been doctored, surely. It's like you've had a fucking football pump and blown his head up and his neck. It's fucking huge. Fuck me. Like, no wonder. No, that's what I mean. You know that. Look, all this bollocks, you can't bulk and stuff like that, and you can do it naturally, absolutely. but not in the timescale he has to be looking like that. Fuck me. It just reeks of it, doesn't it? You look at it now and go, you see him on this advert, like this before and after, and they claim that they've just done like a 30-day fucking eating chicken, rice and veg, and then they end up like this fucking, like this slobby, chippy-titted lad to this fucking ripped guy. It's like that and saying, yeah, he's not taking anything. Fuck me, look at him. It's just...
It's madness as well, mate, because you've got Halloween coming up shortly. And you know what happens at Halloween? You've got all those black lights. Conor Benn walks in a fucking party, man, is going to glow green, isn't it?
That's got to be Photoshop. The guy who done Klitschko's neck must have done that, Ozzy.
He looks like Jason Momoa's illegitimate son, and he's really, really pissed off that his dad wasn't part of his life.
Oh my gosh. Here he is.
As Buzz would say on the right there, it says, "I don't see any intelligent life form anywhere on this podcast."
There's no sign of intelligent life here. Oh, brilliant. There he is, Eddie. Do you not feel sorry for him? Not every day is sunshine and rainbows. Ricky Graville dominating me.
He's been hard done by, eh? Oh, he has actually. He's lost a few. Well, I imagine he's lost a few quid. Probably something like 6 zeros on the end of that. So evening, Ed.
Oh, we wondered where he was, and then he came out of the woodwork. Big Tony, I don't trust many, but the ones I do trust are people who make good decisions, and most importantly, honest ones. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
See, I'm gonna put my cards out here. I think Tony. When I read that, I thought Tony was having a go at Eddie, but also defending him at the same time. I think, although we need to hear him get asked the questions, I think Bellew is fuming with Benn. I think he would call for I think he's been calling for a complete ban. Just hasn't mentioned his name as such. But he came out. They not come out and actually say that Eddie cancelled the show. Maybe he did, but there was pressure involved there as well. So I don't think Eddie gets too much credit because you need to remember Anthony. He was pushing ahead for 2 days trying to get that fight on, and then he was told to pull it. So he gets no credit for me. Absolutely zero.
Well,
and people can call me a hater all they want, but it's fucking true.
I'd love to know the reason. What was the final straw? Because I saw something this morning where the lawyers of representing, basically Matchroom Wasserman felt that they'd be able to get an injunction for the fight to go ahead. I'd love to know what the final straw was. Was it DAZN? Was it Eddie just thinking reputationally it just won't work? I'd love to know the reason.
I think it was going to take too long to get anything legally done. It wouldn't have happened until Monday, so they couldn't get it done in time.
Plus, UCAD were saying that they were concerned at the results being returned. So I'd imagine maybe UCAD or maybe because remember after the fight got called off, who turned up at Chris Eubanks' hotel room? UCAD.
Oh, so UCAD. That's just insult to injury, that, isn't it? We'll call a fight off for one fighter B testing positive, and then we'll rock up and test fighter A. By the way, do you see the colour of his piss? It was that fucking apple juice. Just shows how dehydrated he was, doesn't it?
He was at that point, mate. He was at that point when he made his interview on the Friday. On the Thursday, he was just getting ready to dry out. You could see it in his face. So that would have been him drying out on the Friday, because obviously he clearly made a point of view to try and make the weight, didn't he? And put it on social media just to prove that he could do it.
That's a cop-out, but that shit from Bellew on the screen. You can all come up and say, oh, I'd rather be led by lions into battle than sheep. And all. That's just, what does it even mean? That's just a load of shit rather than making a proper statement, Andy. That's all that is.
Yeah, I didn't really understand it, mate. Obviously, I was expecting Tony to come out and call for Benn to be basically banned immediately after we heard about it and that, but obviously the family came first, so...
I'll be looking forward to it. If Benn does get a ban, what Anthony will say. I really will. It'd be really interesting, because he's come out and been vague and said, I still stand by my point and all drug cheats, it should be a ban for life, this and that. Not named Benn yet, though, has he? He's been very coy on that. If this B sample, which it will do, comes back as positive, it should be a straight ban then. It's going to be interesting what Anthony has to say about the matter. Or will he go missing again, like he did last time?
Eddie will tell all the lackeys to blame him, Ozzy, I bet you. Put it onto me to protect the brand.
Yeah.
Ben.
He'll go missing like that B sample.
Anyway, there was talk of other commissions, apparently. Well, according to one party there was, but there was a bit of a disagreement over this. Let's have a listen.
Reports from journalists and outlets that we've seen today about us being in the High Court this afternoon, us considering other commissions. This is just not true. We took our time with Wasserman Boxing and we made a decision that we felt was in the best interests.
Can you make comment on whether it was discussed that a different board could have been involved in order to make this fight?
Yeah, it was absolutely discussed. It was looked into until even this morning between all parties.
See what I noticed about Callie, by the way, is Eddie seems to be putting Callie up on offer by saying Callie will talk about the failed drug and what the drug was, that type of thing, and then when it came to that press conference, he turned to Calla, and then for Calla to then have a fucking go at the board. Eddie didn't want to do it because Eddie knows where his fucking bread's buttered. Calla has got his Austrian license, he's got his fucking Scandinavian licenses, he can come again like Jade can.
He has a Colombian license, I heard as well.
Yeah, exactly. As well,
Peruvian license.
Peruvian, exactly, mate.
Kilo Soyland.
Bolivia. So this whole thing's went to fucking Bolivian actually as well. Now you talk about it, fuck me.
It's faded to Bolivian.
Hey, if you're talking Bolivia, there's only one man who could step up and really promote Mr. Farrer himself. Get him in the car park. Hey, Eubank Benn in the Colombian car park. Let's make it happen. Sol could referee.
He takes it down Cat Alley, mate. He fucking sorts it all out. That's what he does. Man of his
He could referee and fight on the undercard. Hey, they could have got him on a Bieber show, Ozzy. He's prime for those Bieber shows.
Well, do you know what? I was fully expecting, Bieber. They made a big money signing of Ian John Lewis. And imagine that big Bieber are called upon, and fucking Ian John Lewis is there refereeing bloody Eubank Benn.
Mickey Van on the undercards.
Hey, Mickey Van is licensed by Bieber as well to still officiate as well.
I think this is a great idea, but you have to say that head kicks while your opponent's down as legal, though. That has to be part of it.
You should call them soccer kicks.
After what Matty has said tonight, I think he's for anything goes in boxing, really. Fill him full of roids, kick him on the floor. Why not? You'd be wanting white night.
I'm telling you, mate.
When the
UFC, mate.
Hold on, when the UFC had no weight classes and they fought like all in the same evening, and it was the baddest son of a bitch in the fucking room, that was some good stuff. That was thoroughly enjoyable. And Hoist Gracie was not the biggest guy, and he was fucking people up.
But I mean, boxing is changing, isn't it? I mean, we've seen Paul Gallen, he boxed two people on one night. I'm just waiting for the handicap fight to happen, like one guy gets banged out, we'll tag somebody in and then we'll go again and double teaming somebody, If it's going to develop, we may as well do it to the fucking extreme, haven't we? Some three roided up people, handicap match. Yeah, why not? Chuck a couple of weapons in as well.
Instead of a Gonzalez Estrada trilogy, why not them against Tyson Fury at once? Why not? They're like, they weigh less than him.
Making a mockery of the Bellew of the week here.
They weigh less than him altogether. Why not? Why not?
Why have we not heard from Frank Smith, by the way, yet? Damage control. But I think Eddie's using him as a punch bag. That's the reason.
Yeah, he can't breathe. He can't catch his break because Eddie's been beating the shit out of him for the whole week. I'd love to make a statement right now. But these body shots are killing me.
By the way, Frank Smith, again, he's with bloody Eubank's sister, isn't he? Imagine he's been aware of this information for weeks.
Jesus Christ, imagine that.
On. And he's like, he's literally the definition of in the middle. I think is he wedded to his sister or something like that, or soon to be? Fuck me, he is in a precarious situation. He's fucking Scarpa to the other side of the world, no doubt.
That's where Eddie's gone. He's going to Australia soon, so he'll be fucking off next side of the world.
He'll be off in the UAE.
Rob Taylor better get that interview pretty quick before he takes off, man.
Oh dear. Anyway, Moving on, I think it was Will nominated this one. Conor Benn being interviewed. I've learnt from Billy Joe. Conor Benn on Eubanks Games being avoided at 1.7. He certainly has learnt from Billy Joe. Well done indeed. This is it's a non-Conor Benn and Eddie Hearn one. I tell you what, Andy, they laughed at us when Ryan Deal created the royalty belt.
Yeah, I know.
And the WBC, we tagged them in, so I think we've inspired the Elizabethan belt.
Fuck that pish. Tyson Fury then shouts out 2 minutes later, I want to fight for that belt as well. I'm like, end of sport right now. I mean, I think as they'll do it. I'm surprised they didn't put on a ped belt for this fight on Saturday actually as well, you know.
Lizzie has a belt, Lizzie has a belt.
No anymore, she's not.
Shameless bastards, man. Oh dear. What have we got here? Spaceman.
Oh, it's Phil Mitchell. No, it's not actually. It's Ronnie Davis. That's it.
Fury versus AJ to collapse. Tony Bellew doesn't hold back. Tony's not looking too well.
Oh, mate. The news hit him hard, but wish him well, you know.
It looks like Patrick Stewart after chemo.
Oh, fucking hell. His ears are bigger than that, though, as you know.
Oh, dear. What are we on to next? Let's have a look.
Just one more question on the conversation with Chris Eubank. Did you reach out to him this morning? How was that conversation?
He fully believes. He believes in me. And, it's not who I am, it's not what I'm about. I'm a professional athlete, and, he was understanding.
You had a phone call from Conor Benn this morning. What can you tell us about the conversation you had together?
There was no phone call.
Have you spoke to Conor?
No, we haven't spoken.
So that's incorrect information. Conor said he spoke to you on the phone this morning.
Yeah. No phone call. We haven't spoken since this has been announced, and it's a shame.
Look at Chris Lloyd raging. He's written up a load of questions based on that phone call.
Anthony Crowley was after bringing in Peter Hyatt to do some statement analysis on that.
Oh dear. What else have we got here? There's a few been sent in. Oh yes, I don't know who put this together, but fair play to them. We'll give them a shout out. No, this is the Benn Eubank fertility test.
I've heard you tested positive for some female fertility gear. Yeah, I did, but I didn't mean it, did I? The wife must have accidentally put it in my protein shake. Really? Yeah. My girlfriend leaves her tampons out. They don't accidentally end up my arse. Oh. Anyway, bring it on. I'll see you Saturday, big boy. 60%, baby. 160%, baby.
Get that test first. You should get some elocution lessons to drop that voice a bit.
Someone sent me that. I don't know who created it.
That is top class. By the way, it still doesn't excuse what the fuck was that jacket Eubank was wearing. He was literally a glorified suit. He was a glorified suitcase on stage, wasn't he, with all those pockets?
Someone posted a link up that cost about $2,500 or something like that. $2,500.
Oh yeah, mate. Yeah. Absolute fortune. It's top back, and yeah, you've got him bloody, like I said, just wear awful jacket, appalling, absolutely appalling. Like I say, a glorified suitcase.
O'Hara Davis has come out from underneath the bus. He's crawled out. He tweeted out, "Hi Tony Bellew, how are you? You were so quick to tweet when it was to throw me under the bus years ago. Can I get your opinion on recent incidents of today? Or are you scared the zone might fire your ass if you talk? Me personally, I believe Conor is innocent until proven guilty. That's good stuff from O'Hara. That
I think Bellew would have been. He is raging, but he would have been fucking absolutely incensed if his son had broke this story by the weekend. That.
Oh, exactly. He would have done.
He'd have been fucking fuming.
Ryan Deal again.
Oh, Ryan, nobody's safe with Ryan about, is he? Man, Jesus Christ.
That's quality. That is quality.
Oh, it's similar to the other. I think it was Ring IQ creating this one. If you listen to the podcast, you'll have to go over onto YouTube and look up the Bellew of the Week, a special segment to have a look at these ones. Anyway, what are we on to next? We've done the fertility test. We've got, Eddie, irregular findings, Andy. He's no expert, is Eddie, but he tries to be. Here he is explaining to us exactly what goes on through the process.
Commission, how do they kind of deter? Do they deter if the first sample is positive, but the second sample wasn't.
To be honest with you, I don't really know. I mean, VADA report findings. They don't make sanctioning decisions. So VADA don't say, okay, you failed a test, you're banned for two years. The commission will, and obviously if he's failed a test, that's it, mate. I mean, it's very similar to the Billy Joe Saunders incident as well. You fail a test, that's it. It's not, whether you were cheating, whether you were terribly unlucky, it's fucking irrelevant. It's.
Have you been told a reason though? I know it's irrelevant.
Reason for what?
A reason why this has happened from Miller's team. Have you been kind of told that?
A reason why they took those supplements, or what they?
Well, I don't know if that's what.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I don't. It's not. It's irrelevant to me. What can I do about it? Absolutely nothing. I can't go to the commission, and we've all got a responsibility here. And I've mentioned this about, situations in America with commissions and governing bodies and testing. It's not up to me. I can't go to VADA or the commission and say, sling him out, give him a 5-year ban. Or I can't go and say, it's all right, let him fight, which would be completely the wrong thing to do anyway. So there's nothing I can do other than go through all the calls we've had in the last 12 hours. And
Some man. So much to unpack out of that one, isn't there, But evening, Ed.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I like his own postcode. Oh, I love this one. I love this. Chris Eubank offered to pay the guy to get it removed, or he would pay the cost to get it removed, didn't he?
It's a piss take, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder who got it done originally.
Yeah.
Oh, he's took it from somebody else, hasn't he, that fella? Blonde Bomber, she's not believing it here, Ozzy. She says, I know, but could be contaminated. It happens. It happens.
Honestly, she's a fucking clown. This happens. I asked her, prove it. When? Give me an example. Did she reply? No. Because it's the good old, matchroom ring liquor will say it's happened, but then can never back it up. Stupid cow. Sometimes you're better off just keeping quiet. And in this instance, she fucking didn't. Stupid cow. This is what I mean. Are you ever going to get people coming out? It's very rare. Apart from you've had Algieri, Smith, Van Earden come out and say, yeah, we heard this. Who else is going to come out and just go, oh yeah, Conor Benn, I've always thought he was a juicer. You're not going to get it. So this bimbo is just coming out and saying, oh yeah, I know, but it could be contaminated. This happens. No evidence of anything ever being contaminated before. And then, of course, she's promoted by Matchroom, of course. So then she's not going to come out and say, I don't believe for 1 second Conor is a drug cheat. Stupid. Honestly, I hate Shannon Courtney, but fuck me, if they ever rematch, I hope she belts her around the fucking
bring
ring.
back Shannon. We were too harsh on Shannon. We thought we were Shannon Courtney.
That's what we are. Team Shannon. Team Shannon.
We didn't know
that is saying something as well, though.
Ozzy, put the beard in, mate. Walk away.
You've been on
I'll be putting it down because it's close to an empty. I'll get another one to fucking.
Steve, I want the date
drown the
stamp.
sorrows of Team Shannon.
It's 158, 41, I think it is on the timestamp, right? I want that snipped. Ozzy says that Shannon Courtney is all right.
Stacey Smith's getting a flight out to Greece.
If he is, I'm on another one on the way fucking back. Danger, man.
Say it again, mate. Fucking slag.
Here we are. Boxing's finished. You aren't getting my ratings.
Who fucking wants them?
Speaking of tarts, look at the fucking state of her. My God.
Never mind you, Cad. What about you?
Yeah. She's like a pissed up auntie, isn't she, on that video, isn't she? Have you seen the clips of it and stuff like that? She's had one too many vodka and cokes and stuff like that and just going off on one. Fucking hell. Another one who cries when she gets slagged off. And then she does videos like this.
Yeah, I get my tits. It's not like tits aren't hard to find. Someone want to break the news to her. Tits aren't really that hard to find. It's fucking 2022. You know what I mean? Thinks she's the only fucking person with an OnlyFans account. Get a fucking life, will you?
There's roughly 8 billion boobs in the world. And that's not even if you're not counting people like James Toney.
Ever say about James Toney, who would not get down with this kind of drug taking behaviour, James Tony.
Right, let's make
the blob squad.
Let's get serious again for a minute. Adam Smido Smith's on the call. Evening, Smid. How are you?
Smido.
Good evening. I mean, I've been travelling, so I've not been listening in live, but I will do tomorrow. I've been on 2 minutes. Ozzy Smith has called Ebony Bridges a bimbo and Michelle Joy Phelps a tot. And
Right,
I've
and
only been on 2 minutes.
in the examples used, am I incorrect?
Ozzy, as
'Cause you've
always,
got the
mate, you're 100% right.
Exactly, because I only deal in facts.
Bang on.
Yeah, talking about
fiction
facts.
like Eduardo.
Talking about
sorry,
facts, Smido.
Eduardo.
What about when it comes to drug testing? There's a fella here who thinks that when it comes to your biggest moment, it's best not to ruin it. Let's have a listen.
Connor, first of all, the breaking news, as you've heard, about potentially that fight between Joshua and Miller being cancelled. How you've reacting as a boxing fan yourself?
Well, I just heard it when I got to the gym this morning. I can't believe it. The biggest night of your life, biggest fight of your career, and you get tested positive for a banned substance. It baffles me.
When you see boxers at the top level concern themselves with these sort of issues, especially this close to a massive fight, I mean, does that not concern you as a professional in that field?
Well, my nutritionist, I think I'm not even at world level. My nutritionist has a go at me for taking vitamin C tablets if they've not been tested. So the team he's got round him should say, listen, check all your substances. You're earning a few good quid here, and why put that to risk?
Oh dear.
There's been some excellent work this week from boxing Twitter. It's been remarkably good. They're digging out clips left, right, and centre. It's excellent.
Right, Smid, what are you thinking then as a boxing expert yourself, who's met Luis Ortiz?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of the famous
judge cheat extraordinaire. Yeah,
clean athletes in the sport. I mean, look, I'm 2 hours late to the party, Steve. I understand that, and a lot of what I've got to say has no doubt been covered. But the first thing to note is it is properly disgusting what's happened last week, and I know there's been a lot of talk along similar lines to that, and people being outraged. But it is pretty outrageous from everything we've seen so far. The only reason the fight didn't happen over the weekend is due to some excellent journalism from the Daily Mail of all outlets, because they was looking to make absolutely no doubt about it. They was looking to go ahead
bastards
with the fight, which is awful, really. I mean, apparently there was around 10 days between the result of the test and the news breaking via the Daily Mail. Then within hours, we had statements from the promoters, the boxing board. It's pretty safe to assume that the fight is only off due to the failed test information making the public domain. I mean, that is disgraceful and dangerous. And I know, particularly on this podcast, we're used to boxing shithousery, but I think this took it to a whole new level that we've not seen for some time. We come to expect, behaviours like that from greedy business folk, but for the board to potentially know of a failed test for 10 days and do absolutely nothing about it until a newspaper blew the lid is horrendous. I know, and deservedly so. Mr. Hearn's going to come in for, he's going to be in the crossfire for most of the stick, but I think the boxing board have, as far as we can see, they've only sprung into life and made a statement when there's a newspaper article about it. I think that's awful. Hearn came out and said it was a very tough decision to call it off in that little mini press conference they did on Thursday, whatever day it was, Friday. That's disgusting as well, genuinely, because there was no decision to be made. A fighter failed a test. They're punching each other in the face and looking to do damage. The fight's off. That I think there's no decision or tough, internal battle they've got to have with themselves. The decision was made for them as soon as that test came through as positive. Well, it should be, but we don't live in an ideal world, do we? But of course, there'll be some explanation how it got there, contamination, as Ebony Bridges says, trace amounts, some scientific intricacy, Mexican meat, gypsy meat, something like that. We've heard it all before. Hearn has already alluded to this wait until you see the results kind of narrative and, wait till you see the silence. And I know something that you don't at the moment. Even if he is banged to rights and he's been right at it, they'll threaten to sue the board. Everyone will back down and they'll come away with their reputation to the wider public, not us, to the wider public will be intact, like I say, because everyone will back down. It'll fizzle out and there'll be virtually no action taken. Just look at what happened with Nandrolone and the Gypsy King himself. And look how they actually, separately, look how they brushed the Dillian White issue completely under the carpet, because that blew up when he made that comment that got caught on camera at a press conference. It blew up for a few weeks and we was all talking about it. That we still don't know where the B sample is. Genuinely, it's become a running joke how they've managed to successfully brush that one under the carpet. How many of these instances have happened without us knowing? I know that's been a question posed by many others than me. We've got people, particularly on here, that will know the ins and outs of this. I don't even know the bloody name of the substance, chlorine or whatever it bloody is. It begins with a C. There'll be other people on, even on here, that know a lot more about it than me. I know Andy's one of them, but there's plenty of talk about it just being the tip of an iceberg kind of drug, masking agent, etc. I think that's dangerous as well for complete obvious reasons. But as I said on this podcast years and years ago, I think they're all at it. And I think those similar comments could apply to a lot of sports. We're here to talk boxing. I think hundreds they're all at it. Some people are clever enough not to get caught. Some have got enough money to scare off potential sanctions. Some have both. I've already said on here there'll be someone out there who has been seriously injured or hurt or worse at the hands of someone juicing, and no one knows about it. That's a scary thought in itself. And my conclusion, really, Steve, was we all know what needs to be done in terms of one organisation running the show. It's so far off happening. It's painful to watch, really, from afar. But it needs to be run by someone that's not promoters who spent a few quid on a show and some nice billboards up and down the country, or a floundering TV company desperate for some subscribers. Really, it's all the usual boxing cliches go, but it's an awful week for boxing generally in this country.
Back to the sport then, Smidge, yeah?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Excellent. Shout out to doubles and triples. What is it again?
Well, I don't normally come on here to, push my own agenda, Steve, but yeah, doubles and trebles on YouTube. Check it out.
Ted Hankey on the juice. There you go.
I could do my fucking double just now, I'll tell you that.
Ozzy sounds like he's had a treble, to be honest.
Treble top. Alicia Baumgardner, Andy. Great shit today in the gym. Sounds like it's okay.
I said to that tweet, I hope you flushed afterwards.
What's she clearing out?
I've not seen that. That's brilliant.
Last night's dodgy curry, I think. Jesus, fuck.
Oh, dear. And G in the penthouse. I don't know what's happening in Matchroom's pharmacy, but it's not nice.
Okay, Matchroyd.
Matchroyd.
Oh dear. And this was another Ryan Dale spectacular, wasn't it? Eddie called the Gad George or something. He must have George Warren on the brain. That was before all this shit broke. But I thought that was quite a good one from Ryan there. Oh, curious George. What else have we got on the agenda? Oh, here's Eddie again. I've only got 4 more videos to play. Don't worry, we're getting
program. A random testing on the night at fights, complete waste of time. These guys, if they're cheating, they're breaking cycles. They know exactly what they're doing. Cheating in boxing is not like cheating in the Tour de France. It's not like cheating at 100 metres. The aim of boxing is to and to do that illegally or to enhance that performance. I'm not talking about banning fighters. I'm talking about imprisoning people who do that. Some fighters get caught and they've been unlucky, but ultimately you are responsible for your sample. So anyone that gets caught is guilty. Now, doping program.
Benn station jail time now, man. Poor bastard.
Anyone that gets caught is guilty, unless they're my only hope of filling pay-per-view dates on a shitty app that nobody wants to watch. Unless they're the only UK fighter in my roster that can sell stadium fights, then they're not guilty.
Steve, it might be early to say who wins Bellew of the Week this week, but there's a clear front runner for Bellew of the Year at this point in time.
Well, Matty, at the end of the day, this is a serious sport. You're laughing. There's lives on the line.
At all of this is the way that he, after he failed that test on Monday, texts you to say, I swear I've not taken anything. This is sabotage. This is just the system against me. Fuck off. It's an absolute... You know what? It makes me sick that someone would go to those lengths in a fight. People have died in the ring, And you're talking about Anthony Joshua, you're talking about someone, this guy has tried to get such an edge, and it's not just an edge of a little something. This is the whole hog. This is a man that was so possessed to get an edge over Anthony Joshua in a fight that could have, who knows what could have happened. Anthony Joshua could have been, do you know what is the absolute liberty
Fuck's sake, get a life.
Get a life, mate.
everybody. Fucking bitter bastards.
Honestly. You listen back to him there. The guy's a fraudster. He fucking is.
Bitter bastard, Ozzy.
Yeah, we need to get
It's
out of our
bitter.
fucking mother's basements more often, by the way. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. Robbie, see it? This is the one I was talking about, mate. Look at the size of him. That's bread and water, eh? You can guarantee.
I wouldn't have much suspicion about him, to be honest with you.
Fucking size of that. It's like a big slab in his fucking chest there. That's all it is.
Oh, natural.
He looks like in like fucking 10 years' time he's going to do the remake to Jingle All the Way. Don't you? I haven't seen the one that fucking Jack's just Prime Schwarzenegger and Conan the Barbarian.
I tell you what, see when all this all broke, someone started posting up old videos that Alistair Overeem fighting. He used to fight, do kickboxing, and we're talking like juiced up Alistair Overeem. Motherfucker was icing people left, right. One kick, people
Said
were
he
fucking
had-
knocked out.
He had 3 times the testosterone of a normal
Yeah.
man when he got popped.
Yeah, fucking like it was something like 25-1 over the fucking TC ratio. I was like, what? A normal man's only got like 1.1. I think it's meant to decrease as you get older. He's fucking jacking up 25.1. What the fuck?
People are going to get hurt by these juicers. You need to sort it out and get it in the contract to protect people against these animals.
Bullshit. Got no problem with this fight happening on BT. What I've got a problem with is VADA testing not being in the contract. I can't let my fighter go in with a fighter off the back of John Pascal's failed test without VADA testing in the contract. Not, yes, we've all written off to Margaret and then once it's signed, we'll pay for it and get it done. Bollocks, I don't trust you in the contract.
We don't trust you either,
Well
Eddie.
said, Eddie.
Good evening to you,
Yeah,
sir.
right.
Woo!
It's hard to trust people these days. Sometimes it's hard to know who to trust.
I've only got one more. Before I do,
Bitter bastards.
Oh, I'm sure no one will mind reading that book.
That's pretty awesome.
Fucking Ryan. Is that Ryan Deal again?
yeah, that's Ryan Deal again.
He needs
Or
to
was
get
that
away.
Danny Young?
The face of the picture of the cat there, absolute fucking brilliant.
That might have been Danny Young, actually. You know, it's either Ryan
Oh, was
Deal or
it?
Danny Young. I'm not sure which one it
Oh,
was.
well, I didn't want to accuse anyone of living in the mother's basement, but that was quality work.
Seriously looks like a lesbian couple.
What is it you engaged by? What is
Mad for the lesbies, isn't he? What's the matter with you?
Tell me that Gad doesn't look like Rosie O'Donnell.
He doesn't
Tell
look like
me,
Rosie O'Donnell, I don't think.
Rob, that Gad doesn't look like Rosie O'Donnell.
Who's Rosie O'Donnell? I would have said more Kathy Bates in Misery, but anyway.
That's a great flick. But anyways, yes.
One of the things on my list here to ask you about is you've got a mass of tattoos on your legs, yeah? Tell us about the tattoos. Oh.
Yeah, well, I got this one for art. You ever see the fucking Phoenix, mate? I got this one for art, actually.
You priest, you know, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've done our best tonight. Right, here we go. Here's the last one for Eddie, and then we'll wrap up Bellew of the week, and we'll all do our picks, nominations, whatever you've got. Here he is, finally.
I don't need to save money. I want to put on good fights. So that was a good fight for the zone. So I'm disappointed. But what is the point in signing up for drug testing if when you fail, everyone just goes, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just let him fight." You know? Yeah. So and the argument of, well, it's all right with you, Ked, is totally irrelevant. You've signed drug testing with VADA, the best testing agency, in my opinion, in the sport.
That's the best for last. That one.
I tell you what, right? Fuck getting an interview off Hearn. Let's just get him on a fucking Zoom and just play these clips one after the other.
He knows himself, man. He's
I have a quote here for you, Eddie. What is the point?
That's what you should say. You should play Eddie a clip and just like give him a quick question. So, Eddie, your thoughts on your previous comments here? He's got no answers, man.
How class is that one, though, for this week, Rob?
Brilliant.
That's the best. That's an absolute belter. That's an absolute belter. Brilliant.
Oh, right. It's the best till last. Okay, so there's not really much.
Has anybody worried about the fact that Conor Benn hasn't been given due process here? Because I think that's the fucking answer that we're all looking for, isn't it? Where is the due process for Conor Benn?
In fact, Rob, where is Conor Benn? Because we've heard for Tony Sims, we've heard for Eddie Hearn. Where's Connor? Connor's going to have to come out and say something very soon, otherwise it's just going to look like he's guilty, which he is. He is guilty. Just need to own up, Connor. But, you just need to say, be a man. Didn't be a man and it takes women's drugs, right? Just be a man and then say that you did what you did. Just be a man. And I'll respect you. I'll respect you if you stand up and say that I did it.
Look at that picture on the screen.
You know what it is, mate? Sorry, mate. I said this to someone else on Twitter and that. You know what it reminds me? Drug cheats when they get caught. It's like the scene for like the Shawshank Redemption when they're in the fucking prison canteen and the young fish comes in and he speaks to Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. So what are you in here for then, big boy? He says, "Oh, don't you know the lawyer fucked me?" You know, I'm like Eddie's trying to say that. Well, the fucking drug testers fucked us. You know, Jesus Christ, man.
We're all innocent in here, Andy.
Exactly, mate. We're all innocent. We're all innocent. I know two fighters or two combat fighters my entire 35 years of watching combat sports. One was Chael P. Sonnen, another one was Larry Olabamiwo. The only two guys that I know in 35 years of watching combat sports who have owned up right on the spot once they got caught. Yeah, I did it. Honestly, I did it. Fucking Chael Sonnen says to drug testers, like, says, you've tested for testosterone, something like 14.1 over over your TE ratio. He says 14.1. She's retest that. She should be fucking double that fucking figure. that's one way you went up there.
Yeah, the best thing about Alabama is he tried to take UCAD or something like that to court because they confiscated a load of peds off him and he wanted them back. And they refused to give him back. And he's like, well, I'm retired now, so I want them back. They are mine. They are worth money. I want them back. And he tried to take him to court over it so he could get the actual peds back. Well, I was going to say, just with that picture you had, that last one, Steve, where it was her and Nigel Benn and Connor Benn. Fucking Nigel looks such a proud parent, doesn't he, with the fucking stethoscope on, listening to the kids.
They should have made Harlem Eubank against Harley Benn Ozzy on Saturday night to save the show.
You know what? Yeah, why not? Why not? Absolutely, why not? All for it. Let's make it happen. Make it happen.
He can fuck off as well, by the way, Nigel Benn. I don't want to see a fucking video from him talking about the situation and making a statement. What the fuck is that got to, like? See if if the cops fucking showed up at my house back in the day, my ma would have said, "No, he didn't do it. It wasn't him. He's not here." You know what I mean? I want to hear from somebody reliable, not the fucking fucking cheats.
Nigel was one of my childhood heroes growing up, right? And I just wish he kept his mouth shut. Just say nothing. Then he come out. Just say nothing. This isn't your fight. I know it's your son, it's your flesh and blood, not that, but you feel like you got to protect him. But this isn't on you, mate. This is the bag that he's got to carry on his own. He's got to learn from his own mistakes. You've got to say to him, look, son, look, you fucked up big style here.
You did.
I'll help you as best I can, but this is on you. You've got to carry this. You've got to carry the bag here.
There was an allegation made against Benn, against Nigel Benn years later after the McClellan thing, when they said that they kept the boots and that they found an adverse finding in the blood on the boots because Benn was the only one bleeding on the night. And Benn's reaction to it was interesting. Now, maybe I've been spending so much time with Anthony Crolla, but the first thing he said was, "What are you doing keeping all those boots for all these years?" That would have been the thing. Like, Mr. Kelly, we found a murder weapon. You stabbed someone. Well, what are you keeping out all this time for? I don't fucking.
If the boot doesn't fit, it don't mean shit.
You must have quit.
Who are you going for, Andy?
Ebony Bridges, mate.
Ebony
Evening, Eb.
Oh, brilliant.
It's a two-way tie, mate, but I've got to get to Eddie just for the brass nakedness of the cunt, man. Honestly, God.
We didn't get to make our own nominations?
Of course not, mate.
There's no point, is there?
There's no point. I mean,
unless you've got any individual images to send me. I mean, like,
I could put Josh Windass up for calling it Tony Bellew and
oh,
his pants, but what's the point of that?
I just wanted to throw Jack Reese and what he did between rounds 8 and 9 in the Pandoro Campo fight. That was dumb as fuck. What a jerk off move. I was with Al Bernstein. He was 100% right to be pissed off about it from the announce booth.
Well,
right
I mentioned to Andy, didn't I, Andy, a few weeks ago about Jack Reese? There was something about him that annoyed me, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Well, that was it last night. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it was horrendous, mate. Absolutely.
What did he do? Sorry, I missed the trick. I didn't.
He basically wasn't happy with one of the it was Ocampo and how he's conducting himself in the ring, like fighting. And he says, "You need to punch harder." I went, "What?"
Yeah, I don't like your body language. Yeah.
Punch harder? What are you talking about, man?
But I'll tell you what, Steve, and we'll just because we'll do our nominations, but we'll jump right into that fight when we come out of this. I know you got to bounce real quick, but yeah, that's the only nomination I have was Jack Reese. That was a jerk off move.
Do you have any nominations, Rob? If not, go ahead with who you're picking.
Yeah, Ebony Bridges for me. No. It's just the whole fucking thing, isn't it? UGAD.
Eddie along with Calla for me, with Ben coming in there at the back end, so maybe a regular and an interim belt getting put into option here, mate, I think.
There might be indeed. Ozzy, who are you going for? If you got no nominations, go on ahead, straight ahead.
No, fuck the nominations. It's a fucking team Courtney out in Greece tonight. Fucking hell, never thought I'd see that. But no, it's without a doubt, Pedwardo, Calisoland, and Connor Ped. All three of them right up there. None of this thing in like regular titles. We're sharing the award tonight, and it's for those three, without a doubt.
It's a 3-way draw, mate.
Gotta be.
It's a split draw.
Ben, what you saying?
Yeah, it's got to be Eddie on it. No contest. Eddie all the way.
No contest. There'll be a few no contest and Eddie shows in the future, no doubt. Congratulations, Eduardo.
Oh, Steve.
Just count to me, Andy. Just count to me.
I'm writing that down for a future tweet, possibly. In a second here. There we go. Right, there we are.
Congratulations, Eddie. You're the Bellew of the week for episode 4.
Evening, Ed. Well done, mate. Congratulations. A lot of positivity this weekend.
Yeah. He's had enough positivity, I think, hasn't he?
Yes.